Whoa, that was really loud and really ridiculous. But as it being the first day of December, I figured I needed to do something. Anyway, who cares? Here we are. It is December 1st. I am so happy to see you. I can't see you, but you can see me, and that's all that matters. Today is another exciting episode. It's exciting because I say it's exciting. You like all these, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be fun because we always have fun. During the Badass Funnel Fiesta, today my guest is the confidence coach for mompreneurs. And I don't know if you think the same thing that I think when I say that out loud. I need more coffee. But I want to hear what that means to her. I want you to know what you should be thinking about as a mompreneur. We're going to dive into all of these things, especially since, it's December 1st. I know I already said that, but this is a freaking crazy ass month, especially if you're a mom, especially if you're a mompreneur. And even if you're not a mompreneur, December is hard. So let me bring her up. Her name is Heather Jones, and we're going to talk about all of the things that you need to be thinking about in the month of December and even after, and how you can build your confidence as a mompreneur. What's up?
Hi. So, okay. I know you're supposed to lead, but you just said something that I don't want to forget. You said you were going to let me introduce what a confidence coach for mompreneurs is, but I want to know what you think it is, because now I'm intrigued by what you just said.
No, every time that because you're part of my Black Friday bundle, right? So every time that I have put confidence coach for mompreneurs in there, I always think mostly it's the self-doubt, right? Like it's, do I really know what I'm talking about? Are people going to take me serious because I got to take care of these damn kids and I'm trying to build this business? Are they going to think I'm all over the place? Which friends, I am all over the place. And I have only two kids. And so those are the things that come to my mind when you say confidence coach for mompreneurs. What's the I don't want to say official or the correct, but how do you explain it?
Okay. So first of all, I don't have an elevator pitch. Like I say what makes sense in the moment, but you're right about all of those things. So confidence is more than one thing. It's self-esteem. It's how you attend to goal setting. It's your self-care. All of those things are going to go into, it's your inner critic. It's all of those things go into building your confidence. So it's not just like one avenue. It's whatever you are short in, whether it be one of those things, two of those things, all of those things. And those go into building your confidence. So for mompreneurs, a lot of time that looks like finding her version of balance and flow between business and life and all the things in between. But even that can have a lot to do with your self-esteem, your self-care, boundaries, all of those things.
Have I ever told you my theory on the phrase work-life balance?
Probably. Let's do it.
So years and years and years, right? Work-life balance has always been a buzzword, right? Like since I started on my business journey, people have always been talking about that. And as a mom, because I got into network marketing before I had kids, but like my real legitimate, like, yes, I'm doing this was after Amelia, who it's her birthday today. After she was born, that's when I really started diving into my own businesses, right? Side hustles at first, blah, 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 all the things. And for years and years and years and years and years and years, every time somebody would say work-life balance, I instantly felt like a failure because the way that it was being presented and explained and all of the things is a balance, right? Like they're supposed to be equal. And the day that I said, F that, there is no such thing as balance, is the day that it was a life-changing moment, because I now think of work-life balance as a teeter-totter, right? Some days, and it's mostly weeks and months for me, but you're focusing on your business all of the time, and then sometimes you put all of your intention into your family, and it's legitimately, I can't do this very well, but it's legitimately
You're doing great,
right? It's never like this, because this is when life is no fun anyway. But for me, I focused on, no matter what I was doing, whatever day it was, whatever I needed to do in that moment, being intentional. Am I intentional in my business right now, or am I intentional in my family right now? And making it a priority to set aside time to be intentional for my family, because I suck at that. Like, I am a legit workaholic. I suck at it. In fact, this morning, I'm talking a lot, but this morning I was like, I might actually take not time off in December, but I am contemplating like holding myself to only like 4 hours in the time that my kids are home from school. Now they make me crazy, so I'll change my mind, but I actually had that thought today, and that is the most thought that I've had towards taking off in December ever. So, did anything that I just rambled out give you something that you're like, let's talk about this?
Yeah. So first of all, do it. Take the time off. I'm demanding that of you, by the way.
You know,
Yes.
because here's an honest to God truth. Because my body doesn't do like the things that I like to do, my body doesn't like to do anymore. So if it's not work related, like if it's not on the computer creating something, like I do read. And then when I really, really need to shut my brain off, I will watch TV, but I don't actually have a ton to do. So I can't sit here and twiddle my thumbs. And that's another reason why I work all the time. Anyway, I cut you off. Please continue.
No, that's okay. I respect it. I can't just sit still either. I have to be doing something. But anyways, I relate to it. It's not always work though. I found my balance there. Okay. So the work-life balance thing, I know that that's some people love work-life balance. I'm one of those people. Some people hate the phrase. That's fine. I like to throw in the word flow for those people, but because most people do look at it like it's an equal thing, right? Like a scale almost. You think of a scale, like you have to get it perfectly balanced. You have to perfectly do work, and you have to first of all, we don't do perfect, right? There's no such thing as perfect, but it's not always equal amounts of everything. Balance is about finding flow. And I wish I had pulled this up, but there's actually a definition in like Webster Merriam dictionary, so like an actual dictionary, that has nothing to do with equal parts anything. It's about harmony and flow. So it's not about being perfect and making everything just right and always being on point and on target. It's not about that at all. That's stressful. That's not self-care. That's not self-love. That's not anything good. It's giving priority to the thing that's most important or needs the most attention in that moment. Not most important, right? But needs the most attention. So maybe at some period, whether it's a few hours a day, a few days a week, a few weeks, whatever it is, maybe it is your business that needs a little bit more of your attention. So it's going to get like a little bit bigger piece of the pie. I heard somebody describe it like a pie chart, which I thought was pretty cool. So it gets a little bit bigger piece of your pie. And then, family time maybe gets the next piece, and then however else you break up your pie, right? And then that'll shift. Different periods, different phases of life, that's going to shift. But it's not about doing everything equally and perfectly. It's about finding the harmony and flow for you between all of the things in a way that feels good to you. That's my spiel.
Yeah, no, I like it. And I agree with it completely, because that whole scale thing created more stress for me, and reduced my confidence in first of all, I've never claimed to be a Mom of the Year award winner ever. But when I tried to buy into that scale analogy, I literally felt like a failure all the time. And so when I went to the teeter totter, I'm like, oh yeah, I totally have this under control. So that was a big shift for me.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I tell everybody all the time, clients, friends, whatever. If you don't like it, don't make it yours. Toss it. And if a word doesn't align with you, choose a different word. So if you don't like balance, use flow, use harmony, use whatever word. If it stresses you out, don't do it. Don't use it. That's my advice. Don't. If it stresses you out, it's not good for you. Find a different way to do it, or say it, or
Okay, I have to ask, because you kind of brought it up. What are some words in your industry that you're like, F that, I'm not saying that. I don't like that word. We're not using it. Anything come up like instantly?
So that's funny. That's such a funny question because I am usually laughing at the posts where people are triggered by certain words because I don't get wrapped around. There's not a whole lot that
I
like,
don't get triggered. But I have been, you've probably heard me go off on some rants. Like, so for me,
you?
personally,
No,
me.
no, never.
I have been fighting the word coach in my business for forever, right? Like, I do not want people to think of me as a coach. I cringe at that thought, right? And so that's
she
why
says to the coach.
Yeah, I like to ask coaches that word, or I like to bring that up because it doesn't resonate with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where that question came from. But I was trying to think, are there any other words that I'm like, no, I'm not. Oh, well, with ChatGPT, right? Like everybody has unleashed is one word that I'm like, I used to use it, and then ChatGPT ruined it for me.
Oh,
Yeah, now I hate it. So, and anytime I see the word unleash, I'm like, gosh darn it, you 100% used AI to write that. You didn't even try to fix it. But nothing comes up for you?
no, I mean, there are words in life that I probably don't enjoy, but nothing's coming to mind right now. Nothing specific. But yeah, there's no like things in my industry like alignment or work-life balance or any of that stuff that people write posts about. Like there's no such thing and this and that. I don't care. Because if you don't want to call it that, don't call it that. And guess what? If I want to call it that and it resonates with me, I'm going to call it that. I'm not worried that it doesn't align with that coach. So those words don't really tend to stand out to me that much.
Okay.
At one point, right? That's because I'm a little bit more chill than I used to be. At one point, there's a lot of stuff that used to trigger me. I've been like, why do they say it like that? I hate that word. Why do you know what I mean? Like I would have been probably triggered a couple years ago, but I'm a little bit more chill now.
So. It's here's another random thing, right? You say you're pretty chill now, and it has to be true because I, in my heart, believe that you have bought a zoo.
So I have acquired a zoo, an indoor zoo. Yes, I have.
Tell me a little bit about that, right? Tell me, you've got every time I look at your feed, there's another damn animal that you're talking about they're all in your house, right?
They're all in my house. Yeah. I don't believe in the outdoor pet thing. Unless it was like a horse, which I don't have, sadly.
I'm surprised. I am legit surprised. You don't have a horse.
Just wait.
But what's going on there? Is this a new and for the people watching this, I don't think you actually bought a zoo, but I do think you are putting together your own personal petting zoo. And I think that this is a very interesting behind the scenes thing, and I want to know more about it. So tell me, is there anything like that triggered? Here we are using the word triggered again.
Triggered.
Did it just happen? Like, do you have a plan, a strategy? Like,
I have zero plans and strategies. But it's not new. I've been obsessed with animals my whole life. So like I was 3 years old running around catching little toads in buckets and probably kissing the frogs and like real frogs. I kissed lots of frogs over the years, but when I was little, I was kissing the real frogs and toads. And there's not a lot that's ever like, there are very few nature things that I've ever been like, oh, no, not for me. I've always loved all of the things. So we always had dogs, which is enough. When you have dogs, that's enough. But my last dog died a couple years ago. And I was like, okay, we're not going to get any more dogs. My husband was going to be retiring from the military soon, which he has done now. But at that point, he was going to be retiring from the military soon. And every time we would travel, we have to get a dog sitter. And it's a whole thing. And I was like, okay, we're just not going to have dogs for a few years. We're going to travel because we're going to have that freedom available to us. And about a month after my dog died, I'm like, I can't have a house with no pets. Let's just get guinea pigs. And there's a whole entire story about how we ended up with 5 of them built in there too. Yeah, there's 5 guinea pigs at my house. That was kind of an accident, but a happy accident. And then, it's not like an exciting story. It's cool to watch from a distance, but it's not an exciting story. We just collected animals. My kids wanted to try hermit crabs. So I'm like, of course we're going to try hermit crabs. My son did, a couple of years ago, they did a live animal study in science at the end of the year. And the teacher was like, okay, some of the kids are asking to bring home the crawfish that we studied. Of course, we need parents' consent, but if you consent, we'll send home a crawfish with your kid. And I'm like, send home all the crawfish. Anybody that doesn't want theirs, send it to me.
How many
So we
did
ended
you
up with
end
a
up with?
crawfish. So
Huh.
yes,
But how many?
we got one crawfish, which gratefully the teacher wasn't like, okay, you can have all of them, because I found out they don't like each other. They're a
Oh,
solitary animal. If you put them in together, they'll die, which I didn't know at the time. Um,
oh.
but yeah, we just ended up with the one, which is just fine, because we'd probably just have one today if one came home.
The alpha crawfish.
Yep.
That's so funny. Whoever got a kitten yesterday, you are showing up as Facebook user. So tell me who. I'm not going to go look into Facebook because then I'll be distracted from this conversation, but I want to know who got a kitten. So you've been collecting these animals, but I feel like you've been really posting about them a lot recently. So is this a social media strategy that you just trying to do engagement? Or did you just one day decide, I'm going to tell the world all about my pets, and it has absolutely nothing to do with business? This is a really good business question, actually.
So it's not a strategy. It would be a good one, I think, even though it has
Well,
nothing to do with business.
working. I see you every single day. I see these animals every single day. So if you're listening to this, everything is a funnel. And Heather posting about her animals, her zoo, which I will.
And you have to get your own zoo, is what you need to do.
Well, I don't know about that. That's a big investment.
Listen, it's a good idea.
But I see you every single day. And now here we are in the Badass Funnel Fiesta, and we're talking about your zoo because you've just been posting about it. So what did you said it's not a strategy. What
Not
happened?
an intentional one. So every year every year for the last few years, we get caterpillars that come in when they want to eat the herbs that we're growing, like I don't know, dill and all sorts of like things that I'm growing for my family. And these caterpillars come and they want to eat our food. And I'm like, I like you, but you can't eat my food. So, but I don't like to kill things.
Yeah.
And so I collect them and I bring them inside, and I just I feed them what I want them to have, not my food. I go buy them food. Instead of sharing mine, I go buy them their own food. I'm such a weirdo. But so these caterpillars, right? So then we watch them each year for the last few years. We watch them turn into their chrysalis and then turn into the butterfly. And it's kind of become an obsession. It used to be about teaching the kids, and now the kids are like, I'm so over it. It's not exciting anymore, Mom. I'm like, this is so cool every single time. So I started posting about the butterflies, and people were really intrigued by it. And people got really invested in my butterflies. And when I released the last one the other day, I was like, okay, well, what else can I intrigue people with? So it wasn't like an intentional, how can I get people to look at me for business purposes? But I guess it was like, how else can I entertain people? And my what do you call them? Hermit crab started doing weird things coming out of its shell and stuff. And that intrigued people. So I guess now I'm kind of on this path. Like, what else can my animals do?
That's good. Yeah. I have been posting. We rescued a dog a little over a month now, and he's weird. So I keep posting. He takes selfies with me when we're in the car, especially because he has no concept of space in general.
I saw
but
that
in the
post.
car, he probably takes more car trips than I do. And so I think in his head, I'm in his seat, and it's a real problem for him. So
yeah.
That's what happens with my dog. Adrian, that's cool that you got a kitten. Was that planned? And more butterflies. Oh, was it 23 total butterflies? Was that what I saw?
So there were 23, and then I added 4 more. There were late season. There were these random caterpillars that showed up late in the season. And so I added, so there were whatever that number is, 27.
That's 27. That's easy math. And math is hard.
Well, but a few of the chrysalises didn't result in a caterpillar. So it's simple math, you'd think, but I have to remember how many actually came out of it. So we ended up with 25 butterflies.
You see. Interesting. Yeah. So let's go back to, well, I don't know if it's going back, but we've talked about the kids. We've talked about all these animals. We've talked about your business. So I feel like one big thing that you would be addressing with clients is how to juggle all the things. How do I keep balls from falling on the floor when I keep tossing new freaking butterflies and hermit crabs and crawfish into my juggling act?
Yeah, absolutely. So like, I am a person, obviously, who has multi-passions.
You're a person?
I'm a person who is multi-passionate. So I like to have a lot of time to read. I like to bake, which is time consuming. I like to have my animals. I like to have all the things. And so I did have to figure out how to do my business, be a mom, be a wife, run my household, and do the things that I like for me. And so I did figure that out over time. And that's kind of why I'm drawn to helping other women do it, because so many women are like, I love to do these things, or either I used to love things and I don't even know what things I love anymore because it's been so long since I got to do a thing that I love.
Yeah.
And so when I see stuff like that, I'm like, you can do that stuff. You get to do that stuff. You get to claim it for you. And I promise you, there's a way to do it. We just have to figure it out in the way that it works for you. Because, it's not one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm absolutely drawn to helping mompreneurs, well, specifically mompreneurs, but really, any moms, figure out how they can run their business and, do that in the way that feels good to them, and also be there for their household and their children, and be there with, their family for dinners, and still get in the things that they love, whether it's baking or running or whatever, reading.
I know it's not a one size fits all, but do you have I don't know, recommended for anybody watching this is like, yes, you're speaking my language. This is my problem. What would be the first step in trying to figure out what would work for them? That's hard to say.
Yeah, no, it's good. You're good. So it depends on where she's at. Like if she's, a lot of people don't think that they have the time. Like, I just don't have the time. That's a really common thing we hear, right? Like, if I had more time, I don't have the time. You have the time. We all have the time. It's what are you doing with your time?
Exactly.
And what are you doing that you don't have to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
And so the first step is not sexy, but usually it's going to be looking really closely at what you're doing throughout the day, maybe tracking for like physically tracking what you're doing throughout the day. So you can identify like, oh, I'm spending a good portion of time here, like 3 hours on social media. I didn't realize so much time had passed, and whatever. You're going to find different things, but as an example. And so you track that time, and then you determine where are you spending time doing things that you don't really want to be doing, that you don't have to be doing, that, you can reprioritize. And so the tracker is probably where we would normally start with figuring out where you do have time or where you can create the time.
Yeah. I, a couple years ago, did an activity kind of like that, where every 15 minutes, I would write down what I did in those 15 minutes for the entire week. So everybody has the same 168 hours in the week, right? And it was mind blowing how much time I spent wasting, like just wasting time, scrolling Facebook, looking for leads. I don't even remember so many things. If I did that nope, not going to say that out loud. I would like to track my husband and see how much time he spends in the bathroom each week, because I swear it's astronomical. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I did say it out loud. There you go. But yeah, I think that's a great start. If you're watching this and you're like, I just don't have time. If you ever say, I don't have the time to do the things that you want to do, think about or track what you do, even if you just do it for a couple of days. It is mind-boggling how much time that you are using to do things that you don't even realize are sucking it all up. So anyway, I got really high pitched there. Let's see. What else? What else is another question I feel like you might get asked a lot, or that I hear moms and mompreneurs say a lot? What about, do you hear this? People who are like, oh, I don't want to don't want anybody to think I'm bragging. So I downplay my skill set, or I don't make a big deal about my wins and things like that. Is that something that you hear a lot?
Yeah, it is. I was having a conversation with a mompreneur a few weeks back who was saying the exact same thing. She's like, we were talking about celebrating wins, celebrating the little wins. And she's like, but I don't want to come off as cocky or arrogant or full of myself. And I don't think that's uncommon.
Oh, me neither. Because I know I have had those thoughts before. Like did I just freeze? Oh, I'm fine. So I've always been pretty confident, but I know that's hard to believe. But I used to worry, like I would not talk about wins or things that I did because I already knew that I seemed pretty egotistical. And I didn't want people to think that I really was tooting my own horn. But recently I made this shift where if I'm talking about something that I've learned in my business or that I've done for a client, like I am unapologetically screaming it, and on social media, of course. And there's been a big shift. People are now listening more because they're seeing results. Whereas before I was being quiet and downplaying it, right? And they're like, yeah, whatever you say, So I've definitely been in that place where I'm like, I don't want people. And I'm like, I will sometimes say, I am 100% tooting my own horn. I am 100% making a bigger deal out of this than it needs to be. But gosh, here we go. So
I have used that phrase frequently lately. Like, I will say something like, I'm not tooting my own horn. Well, no, I am tooting my own horn. I am definitely tooting my own horn.
Yeah.
There's a difference, I think, between being confident and celebrating little wins and knowing what you have to offer and feeling free to speak about it freely and confidently, and being cocky or egotistical, or I feel like that's more like a, this is why I'm better than you. This is what makes me great.
Yeah.
But without recognizing that we're all great kind of mindset.
Absolutely.
And I think that's so very different. It's just that we are so conditioned to downplay and be humble and don't brag and all that thing. I don't think it's bragging.
Well, and here's the thing too that I've learned. I don't remember where I read this, but if you are being quiet, if you're downplaying, right? You are playing in a mediocre space, and people don't want to work with people that are like everybody else, right? Like they want to know your greatness. They want to see what you are achieving, because then you stand out from everybody else who's trying to sell them the same shit. So that is one thing that I heard or read, or I don't know, one of those days that I actually read.
Yeah, no, I like it. I definitely think that we need so much more of people celebrating. I have a son and a daughter. So I have a 10-year-old boy and I have an 8-year-old girl. And my son is typical, confident, like outgoing, just look at what I can do, not afraid to shine, and like wants to be the center of attention when he's learned something new and wants to show it off. My daughter, on the other hand, has no idea how incredible and amazing and talented she is. And even when you tell her, like, it doesn't really sink in. She downplays it. And I just think there's just this massive need to emulate, to set the example by doing, so that, as a mom, as the woman in her life who she watches, seeing me celebrate and not be quiet and meek about what I've done and what I'm proud of, but, celebrating and saying it and sharing it with people and speaking as though I'm proud of it. I'm hoping that is going to help her learn that, that's a thing that she can do.
Yeah, for sure.
So many of us don't, even as adults.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I have kind of the same thing with my 2 kids. And the one is stepping into, her talking about things and whatever. But the other one, oh my Lord, the other one is the exact opposite, where you got to reel her in, like, yo, I'm so proud of you, but the way that you just said that is super egotistical and, quite frankly, rude. So You know, me trying not to, words are hard. Me trying not to facilitate that, kids shouldn't be heard and they need to be quiet and not to further that thing where kids and girls especially feel like they can't talk about that. I'm like, oh my gosh, how do I tell her it's yes, I want you to celebrate these things and talk about the things that you can achieve, but don't be a jerk. It's hard.
I have the same conversations with my son. I don't want to squash the confidence. Like the confidence is amazing. I want him to always carry that. I want him to remember not to say it as though like,
look at me,
I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Right. Look for the strengths in others too and celebrate theirs, not just look at me, look what I can do. I'm so great. Like, yes, you are. And what else is there?
Yes, what else is there? That's good. Okay, so this has been a fantastic conversation. I want to take just a couple of minutes and highlight. If you're watching this live or the replay, first of all, tell me if you're watching it live or the replay. And yes, I am okay. Whoever asked, I just was fiddling with my little cup thingy here and about spilt the whole damn thing. But I'm good. No messes made. Everything is well. My point was, you may or may not have heard that after the weirdness that happened with people over Black Friday weekend, I learned everybody pretty much tuned everything out this year. I extended my Black Friday bundle, and you, Heather, have contributed a free gift and something in the paid bundle as well. So I want to highlight those really quick. Tell us what the free gift is. And then also we need to talk about what you're working on to put out today or tomorrow, and then the paid offer too. So tell us about the gifts first.
Okay, so the free gift that's currently in the bundle is 3 steps to quieting the mom guilt on the spot. So that mom guilt is huge too, right? I don't think we talked about that much, but that mom guilt is huge. So it's quick, it's easy, but it's super powerful and impactful. So that is the thing that's in the bundle. And the thing I'm working on right now, I can't take credit for it because it wasn't my idea, but I thought it was brilliant. And I didn't come up with it, but I will definitely scoop it up and run with it. It's a self-care advent calendar. So yes, I'm a little late to the game, but it's going to come out today. So no worries. It'll be on time. It'll be great.
Totally fine. This is an example of everything is a funnel. It is, I do not know why I'm struggling so hard. It's Friday. It is Friday and my brain hurts, but it's the right timing, right? This is the right timing. So you're taking messy action, blah, 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 blah. But I think that's cool. I think it's really cool that you're doing this advent calendar.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to also identify the fact that it's not like a religious, I don't know. When I think of advent calendars, I think of religion. I don't even know if that's actually associated with religion, but this is like advent for everybody. It doesn't matter what your background is. It's self-care. So it's all the things for all the.
I don't know. When I hear the word advent, I just think that I'm getting a treat every single day, and I deserve a treat every single day of December.
Totally deserve a treat every single day. I'm going to say one to you.
I have
in the form of self-care.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I buy my kids. I have previously bought my kids sock advent calendars in December. Let's see. One year we got socks and one year we got tiny Lego minifigs, and those mother scratchers could not wait. They opened the entire thing on day one. And first of all, in my head, when I buy these, because I'm always thinking of content, right? Like, we can take a picture every day and then I can post it and it'll be really cool. No, they opened it never fails. Every calendar I get them, they open the whole thing on day one and it is done. It is over and I fail. Anyway.
I feel like that's a thing, Mike. I've never bought an advent calendar, by the way, which is random.
If I drink wine regularly, there's a meme going around right now where there's an advent calendar of full-sized bottles of wine, but I don't like that's my kind of calendar. Okay. That's really cool. And I love the idea, but tell me also what you have contributed in the paid bundle. And I don't know again, all I see is Facebook user because StreamYard's being ridiculous. But yeah, I got a lot of feedback. I've done a lot of research the last couple of days, and whoever said this, most people, especially business owners, have told me straight up that they blocked out all of the noise. Even if they had something that they were promoting for Black Friday, everything else they shut out. And if they were not promoting something for Black Friday, they 100% were completely shut down. So here's the thing. It's great to extend your Black Friday offer. You can do it or not, whatever you choose to do. But people have also told me that they are excited to see that some people that they care about their business or whatever, that they've extended so they can check it out. So that's my little tiny plug for Black Friday extensions. And I am going to do a workshop actually on Wednesday, diving deep into observations and things that worked and didn't work for Black Friday on Wednesday. Comment if you want to find out how to get that. But now back to the real question. Heather, what do you have in the paid Black Friday bundle?
Okay. So it's a free week into my membership to give it a try and see, what's in there. How does it suit you? So the membership it incorporates two massive things. It's my vault where all of my recorded meditations, journaling prompts, little courses, like mini courses, all of the things that I've created over my coaching years are in my vault. And so that's available, it doesn't get trickled out. It's all available in the vault. And then on top of that, I am doing Voxer coaching for anybody who signs up for the membership. So for anybody who doesn't know what Voxer is, it's a messaging app. You can use audio, you can use text, you can, I don't know if you can do video, but you can do audio and text. And so that just allows, I have business hours. And so real time, you can text and message me on the thing and, Heather, I'm kind of stuck here. And we get to do a little bit of one-on-one coaching over Voxer.
Is that new? I mean, when I say new, is your Voxer part new?
Relatively.
Yeah,
like a month or two, I think it's been in there now.
I was kind of toying with it a couple months ago, but in my Superfan Accelerator, which I launched in the Black Friday bundle, that's a huge component of my mentorship program. Not my coaching program because I don't like that word, but my mentorship program.
Well, except for when it's like Heather Coach, because then it fits, right?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Not JCan Coach.
JCan, I could spend so much time going down rabbit holes why I just don't want to be a coach. Anyway, all the things. Thank you so much for hanging out today. Thank you for those of you who are watching. Again, let us know if you watched live or the replay. I put the link to the bundle in the chat. If you can't find it, let me know and I will make sure that you get that. Because you need to get the resources and you probably need to figure out how to get that Advent. How will people be able to access your Advent calendar?
So I'm going to set it up with an email drop. So sign up for the email. I will have a little landing page. You can sign up for the email and I'll send it in a PDF. I'm also going to do some kind of an accountability attached to it. So because it is self-care, I don't want it to drop down a piece of chocolate. People might forget. So I'm going to incorporate some accountability.
Oh, that reminds me. Somebody said that according to their, where'd it go? According to their chocolate Advent calendar, Christmas is in 3 days.
Right. So if I send you chocolate, you're not going to forget the self-care thing. You might need a reminder.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Okay. Thank you again. This has been fantastic. And I have a question for you. I'm totally 100% going to put you on the spot. And if you're watching this again live or the replay and you hear me ask her this question, tell me what you think too. But it's no secret. I do a big purpose and profit event once a quarter, and I'm planning on doing the next one in January. And my thought for January was, as it's the beginning of the year, it would be fantastic. And you're going to laugh when I say this out loud, knowing all the things that I just said, right? I'm going to bring together a bunch of coaches to do free coaching sessions in the 2-day event so that people can figure out what the fuck they want to focus on in the beginning of 2024.
Yeah.
But do you think that sounds like a good idea? I think it sounds like a fantastic idea.
I think a whole bunch of coaches in one space sounds like an amazing idea.
Right?
I think it's not that you don't like coach, it's that
No.
you don't want to be called a coach.
Right.
Clearly you love
Exactly.
coaches. I think it sounds incredible.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, because I know a ton and work with a ton of coaches, you're right. I don't dislike coaches. It's not a word for me. Anyway, even though people tell me all the time, you're a coach. I'm like, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Tell me what you think about that idea. That's where I'm leaning towards in the January not mini. That will be the actual summit. So if you're watching this and you're either a coach, and you're like, yes, sign me up. Or B, you're like, I would love for so-and-so to have a workshop in this event. Tag them so that I can get them on the list. So anyway, for the last and final time, thank you for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. I hope that I'll be back next week with another episode with a Calendly expert. But if you're watching this and I don't see you or talk to you, happy holidays. All of the things. Try to take some time to care for yourself because December is freaking nuts and you deserve a little rest and R&R. And I'm telling you that you can take time off from your business as well. So Heather, thanks. Everybody else, see you soon.